Very well, call this meeting to order. Have your meeting recording number? Are we ready?
Recording, and we're unmuted. We're good to go.
This very day, September the 11th at 5:33. And we have here discussion and action of approval of minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
I did. I motioned to approve them.
And who would second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Citizen comment? Is there any?
No, none were submitted.
And we can very well move on to library reports, is that correct? And who's up? Adult services?
So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Berta, and I'm going to be presenting the adult services for the library. So first off, we wanted to point out how many books we've been putting out there in the little lending libraries. They're located at different parks, and as you can see, they're packed, and people go and get them. So we make sure that there's always a good amount. I've gotten some too before I even started working here, so they're really cool. Then for the month of July, we had the picnic day. We were on the last month of the computer classes, as you can see towards the right. And then at the very bottom, a little family, which also attended the picnic day. Later, the following week, they were at the recipe swap day. And that's what those little boxes are for, because we were sharing the books that we have here at the library available for them to check out with recipes from different countries. And they were looking into that. I was also showing them a recipe that one of my aunts showed me to share with them. And then we were thinking, yeah, we should all bring in our own plates to share so that we don't just talk about food, but taste it maybe. And so as some of the prizes, we had those little boxes, which were given to us by AARP themselves. In the picnic day, at Southmost, they were giving out watermelon. And then at Maine, we were giving out yogurt with blueberries. People could have brought their own blanket and everything. And at Maine, which is where I was at, people got to actually sit on their blankets on the grass. They were reading books, and they even brought a pet. Nobody asked or anything like that, but they brought it and everything was good. No complaints or anything like that. They were really, really happy. They even said that we should have it more often. So that is taken into consideration.
And this was at what time of the day?
It was at 6. It was at
kind of sticky hot too, right?
We were under the shade though.
Okay.
So by that time, the shade is tilting. I mean, the sun is at another location, so it tilts. It's not noon right above the trees. So we also then, in the month of August, last month, we had the back to school fair where we were distributing out the mesh backpacks. And we had different vendors from Tropical Cafe, Friendship of Women, Little Mozart's, Brownsville PD, Public Health, UT Health, many different organizations. And right there you can see the people. At Southmost, we even barricaded the areas and blocked off some sections to make sure that they're safe. If in case little kids want to be running at a certain space, they're still safe. We also managed the parking too, for that. Then at the very bottom corner, you can see where we kind of set up games. Melinda was helping out with that. And the kids really liked it, not only just to visit the tents, right, the little booths, but also that they got to play a little bit. And then we also had the cooking class for arroz con pollo. The people liked it as well at both locations. The back to school fair too was also at both locations. And sorry. And then we also showed the movie, The Theory of Everything. We had more people sitting down for this movie. And one of the comments from a patron was that he really liked it because it was like educational. It wasn't so much about fantasy or anything, but it was based on a true story. And it's something that they can get out of, you know. Then at the very end of the month, we had karaoke. We had more people. And so it was there at the meeting room, and you can see some of the youth. They look young, but they're probably adults there, you know. And so then for this month of September, for the month of August, we didn't have computer classes. It was just at the end of June. August, no computer classes. We're starting up again in September. And in September, we're doing this kind of thing for adults that if they check out a book during this month, a book from the fiction romance section, and it gets to be a golden book, they get a prize of a Canva bag along with a Hershey bar. And so because we want them to read the books, even if it's not a book from the golden books area, that we're offering to them in the month of October, a book talk over these books that they chose to read over coffee too. So the library is going to be making coffee, and we're going to be in the meeting room discussing the books that they read. I'm reading too. And for the month of September, along with that, we're starting up again with the computer classes, more towards now technology of using the phone, knowing how to use a phone and the computer to get along. Tonight we have cross stitch night. We're gonna be doing a little heart for Patriots Day today and for Grandparents Day, which was yesterday. Next week, we're gonna have a cooking class, and it's gonna be on flour tortillas. We're gonna make flour tortillas. And the staff decided, because I made a little small survey and asked everybody what they thought what movie we should play for the month, like a good movie, right? For the adults and stuff. And so between Selena, La Bamba, Instructions Not Included, and Under the Same Moon 1. So that's a movie that we're going to be showing. And if you guys haven't heard of it, it's the journey of a little boy who's crossing the border to go visit his mom in Los Angeles. And it's in that journey and that love between mother and child. And finally, we are going to have another open mic night for this month. I think that's it. I don't know if you guys have.
As far as adult services, the programs that you had, what do you see having for, I believe it's tomorrow, Midi on the Move over in Southmost? Do you see?
Oh, Under the Same Moon?
No, Midi on the Move.
For tomorrow, we will be having, they're going to be different. Obviously, the Midi Cultural District organizations will be here. Plus we do have a few more coming in, multimodal departments coming in, Health Department, Cameron County Health Department, then Republic Services, Texas Southmost College. So we have a few more extra vendors that are coming in. So we do have the different organizations that will be spread out throughout the library. Bark will also be there for pet adoptions. And then we do have some carnival rides that will be outside along with some food trucks.
And as far as reaching out to patrons or just in general, as far as
the library's gonna have their own info table, and so we're especially going to be trying to promote the fact that Access 360 has now gone into Boundless. That's our main focus. So they're aware of the change, but we will have an information table to hand out pamphlets on our services.
I don't know whether that was Courtney's outreach or how that in the Midi on the Move is as far as, okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Move on to youth services, is that correct?
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so my name is Katie. I'm going to be presenting for youth services. Next slide. So just kind of since we haven't really gone over it, the SRP, Summer Reading Program recap, just wanted to give you a little bit of the numbers of this year. So we did have, our goals was 800 total registrations. We did receive 1,408. So that's an improvement, or an improvement for all. But we did receive our goal for 75 brag tag entries, which is it was an incentive for them to attend our programs that we had over the month. And we this year we did get 132 brag tag entries. Also, we for our summer bash, which is a program that we did, for water slides, and an outside program was goal was 500. We did receive more than 800. It's about 800 and I don't remember exact number, 840. And then we did have our goal for SRP for the submitted reading logs was 400. We did receive a total of 401. So that one was improvement. Next slide. And then just we are for the month of August, we have been doing bouncing babies, which is something that we have every Wednesdays, or no, every first and second Wednesdays a month. And then we did start having toddler play date in August was the first month that we did have it. We did receive a lot of feedback. Parents are very happy with it, and they want us to continue doing it. So that day we do put out sensory games for them, and we have soft play for them to enjoy. So. And then the regular kids night that we have every second and third Tuesday of the month. So we do different activities for them. So that's just a picture showing you of those events. And then aside from that, we did have the LEAP, the Library Explorer Adventure Pack. We did have Driscoll come in, and they did a fitness class with them. So that was, we did get a lot of also sorry, I'm like trying to think of, like, we did have a lot of good feedback from them as well. And so we did have kids and parents participating in the fitness class. So they were dancing and moving around. So that was nice to see. And just more kids nights. And then September, this month we are doing the library card sign up month giveaway. So from September 1st to the 30th, they can enter by visiting the library, signing up for a library card, or the ones that already have a library card, you can go to the desk and participate in the stamp rally. Or for the ones that are renewing their library cards, they can join the stamp rally. And then they're entered into a giveaway basket, or that they can win. And then we do have a kids night, our Lego days, again, Bouncy Babies, and then the stories and snacks. That one's a little bit different. We having on Wednesdays, when we usually do regular story time, we started adding snacks into it so we can try to get more people into it. So last month, was it last Wednesday, right? Last Wednesday for Southmost, we did see an improvement because we're trying to get
because of the snacks, or was it because?
Yes.
I was going to ask because the summer months in comparison to maybe last year, have you seen an uptick because of the heat? People wanting to find a cool place, and
so we have been getting. Compared to last year, our numbers have been going up. The only thing we did change it with was story time, because for especially Southmost, we were getting very low numbers. So we tried to change it around, and we added snacks into the play, and so we were able to get more people. So it's an incentive for them. And then the toddler play day and movie night. So we have free popcorn. And next slide, and that's it. Any questions?
that was good. Really, I was kind of wondering about the.
In relation to that question about people coming in out of the heat, and we have seen our overall library visit numbers go up. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's one of the factors attributed to those numbers.
I remember, just a side note, I remember growing up, my mom would take us either to the mall or to the library just to, get out of the heat and keep us active. And All right. Thank you. And Teen Services.
Hi, I will be presenting for Teen Services today. My name is Beatriz. Our teen events this August were the Teen Advisory Club. This past August, we had the VR Career Fair. We had the Teen Lock-In at Maine and Teen Game Night and our Teen Anime Club. So for the VR Fair, which is one of our extra events, we had Workforce come in and they brought VR sets. So they had it was for anyone 13 and up. We had a fair amount of people attend. Most of the attendees were adults. I think they thought that it was going to be more of a job fair, kind of similar to what we had a few months ago. We had that big event where we had 500 people. We had 30 adults attend, but because they were very restrictive towards who could use the VR machines, they had to be 13 or older. That kind of didn't hit our numbers great, but we had a lot of adults attend and they really enjoyed it. They were able to use, I guess, to play with certain careers. We had one of our library staff members try it out, and it was essentially technical careers that they were able to test out. So they would use the VR set, and it was very how to pick up a wrench, how to use a wrench, how to do this in various jobs. So it was nice. They came in, they had a lot of vendors themselves, and people had fun. They were asking about when we would have our next job fair. So we're gonna hopefully see when we can do that next. And then next slide, please. We wanted to talk about the teen lock-in. So for our teen lock-in, we had 37 teens show up out of the 42 that signed up. It was, again, a huge success. The kids loved it. These are some of the pictures that they had. This time around, they had much more, the makerspace activity that we had a lot more people attend and participate, and everyone went home with a personalized bag, which they loved. Also, we've been getting more questions about when this is happening again, so we are in the process of trying to get it ready for the next summertime. Next slide. So coming soon, we're having our college fair. That's going to be on next week already. On Wednesday, this is going to be in Southmost. We've invited technical colleges, universities, and trade schools to come in and give presentations and provide an information table to people who are going to be coming in. We've also invited schools. BISD has, several schools of BISD have been invited, charter schools, Jubilee, and private schools were invited. So we're hoping that they can go ahead and attend. We understand that this is going to be in the middle of the day, so it might be difficult for some people to attend, but it's still open for everybody. So I have been mentioning in our teen advisory councils that if they don't feel like they can attend, they can mention it to an older brother, cousin, whoever. And we've received good feedback from teens for this, but we understand that at the end of the day, it'll be a school logistical issue. We also have Teen Art Night and Makerspace. This is an event that we're having with Makerspace, where we're going to be having teens come in to use the sublimation machine. So they'll be going home with a little canvas bag, a pencil bag, that they get to personalize themselves here. And then last but not least, we have our Teen Anime Club. This month will be Pokemon edition. So we'll be watching Detective Pikachu and having some diamond painting, which is a very popular activity that we have. And that is it. Any questions?
I'm going back to the previous slide of that college fair.
Yes.
I'm not certain when you sent out information to the school districts or even if you did to specific high schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's like a timetable for them to, if it's during the school day, to put in for transportation. But there are some special populations that they can make arrangements and bus students over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind. Once it lands on your desk, definitely coordinate it with the ISD so they can go ahead and get the ball rolling for transportation services.
Right, I did send out emails to individual principals, from the directory of BISD, middle school, high schools, the Lincoln School as well.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and we started sending those out in July.
There you go.
And then,
Yes,
so I
yes.
thought it was early enough.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So I did send them to principals individually. I also sent it to Mr. Moody over at the administration building.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. So we've been, and I believe a lead teacher, blanking on her name, but we were trying to send it out as early as we could, understanding that there are issues with how early and how close it is to the beginning of the school year. Although we haven't received any confirmations from BISD, it's possible that they might just show up. So we're planning and hoping that we will get a higher number of people who have actually confirmed. So we have had a few charter schools confirm and say that they'll be bringing a certain amount of students.
How about with a follow-up email or phone calls?
I did follow up earlier this month. No, sorry, late last month, so in August. And unfortunately, I have yet to receive feedback. I'll try to send another one today.
Sounds like a good event for.
Yeah, we're hoping
An
that we
opportunity
have
for
a lot of people. We do have, 12 different schools coming in, including TSC, and we're hoping to bring in someone who can, well, actually, we have confirmed with someone who's going to be giving resume information so that they can get that started for colleges, and then also someone who's going to be speaking about FAFSA. So we are trying to make this as wonderful as an event as it can possibly be, but we're trying to see if we can get someone in here. Someone from BSD.
Can I make a comment? Am I allowed to make a comment from the Zoom section? Thank you. I was going to say, I get excited over stuff like this, with career and technology programs so important to young kids. There's a new administrator for CTE, that's career and technology programs. Her name is Benita, and she was a former principal from Falk. You might want to get in touch with her, and maybe she can drum up some enthusiasm. And then I heard FAFSA, and the main person that could get you all the information or get you kids that need that information, her name is Sarita Garza, and she's in charge of the career, not career and technology, but she's in charge of counseling. And these folks are instrumental. It's very important that the kids get this information. And so you'll have a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of participation, because these are great topics to touch, with kids. You can't get enough of it. That's number one right now. And that's why all the private schools are getting on the bandwagon. But even our public school system kiddos, they can't hear enough. The more they hear it, the more they learn. It's like if you fill out a FAFSA right now, you are eligible for summer school, first summer session and second summer session. If you fill it out in December, which is the traditional November, December, you don't get to get FAFSA money, for tuition until September of next year. So the earlier, the better. Great thinking. This is a good initiative.
And
Thank you so much.
I'm going to piggyback on that. Is it possible to have a Zoom session where there's a presenter? I don't know if you're cycling or there's stations, and you can have like a room such as this, and have those who can't be transferred over here to.
We did attempt that with the presenters. That's not an option that we had considered for the schools. I think mainly because of who would be our base point. No one has, like I said, no one's responded from BISD back to me to see who I can kind of get that ball rolling with. But since it is from 9 to 1, I imagine that's going to cover a lot of different classes. But if that's something that you're interested, I know you mentioned that you.
Those two individuals, reaching out to them, or what is it?
I am in contact with Miss Sara Garza and Miss Pilar Janis, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so,
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Miss Benita is one of the people that I don't think I was able to send
Maybe-
it to.
Maybe talking to
She's
her and
directly-
finding,
Yeah,
finding
She's
out what would be
directly-
a good time frame to do a Zoom, when she has kids
Mhm.
that could be, attending that meeting.
Yeah, I'll be reaching out to her then.
If, it doesn't have to be where it's 9 to 1. You can just say, is it possible to have kiddos, attend this session from, and then whoever shows up as far as on this end, they can go ahead and chime in.
Okay.
Suggestion.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay.
Hello, it's Anthony.
Yes.
So presenting on Makerspace. So last month we started a new thing with virtual reality and level design with Mario Maker. Our patrons really loved it. We had a pretty good attendance at both branches, and they were requesting that we do it again. So we are making that a regular program now, where our patrons are able to design levels on using Mario Maker or try out virtual reality using our PlayStation VRs. We're working to try and get more systems because we didn't have enough VR stations for the kiddos to try out or the adults to try out there. We had a line pretty much for all the systems.
How many VR sets do you have?
We have one at each branch. They're new VR sets, so yes.
Are they Oculus or what are?
No, they're with the PlayStation VR, so
PlayStation.
yes.
Just one question on the Mario Maker, were they able to save the stages or they just created and?
They were able to save it, so if they were to come back again, they could try to edit it and work on it the next time they're here.
Thank you.
And so we also have our exploration theater still ongoing. It's still a very popular event. And many are experiencing it for the first time at the library. I know here at the main branch specifically, we always get new faces coming in. They just see the dome blown up and then that's it. So they sit in for the 30 minutes that usually is for each movie. And they're like, wow, I didn't know this was here. I want to come again. And they'll bring their kiddos to get back for the following session and they'll sit in and watch the movie again.
Is it like a smaller version of IMAX?
Pretty much, yes. And it's all educational. It's about space, solar systems, galaxies. It's a different movie every time we put it up. And then in August, we also had our DIY machine event. The patrons were able to see live demos of all of our machines, ask questions about them. We have seen several of those patrons come back to use our equipment since then, and they bring new faces with them every time they come with. And we have seen an uptick usage as far as all of our equipment is concerned. As usually we'll have at least one person a day at our makerspace. I think the most I've had there is 3 at a time using different stations. So it's picking up for us. And then as far as September is concerned, we had our exploration theater. We have our Mario Maker event again this Friday. And then as mentioned in the teen services, we'll be working with them for sublimation. Any questions?
Good evening. My name is Courtney Taylor, and I'll be presenting on outreach for July and August of this year. We started off with our adult daycares. We're trying to turn this into where the daycares will be starting to come into our physical library locations. Jose was able to discuss local birds and games of Texas when he went out, and it was 49 patrons, and then Miss Bertha talked about the tours as well as the other services we're able to have. Next slide, please. We started going back to the farmers market. You can tell that there were distinctly different numbers in between the 2 months. One of the factors was in August, it was super, super hot for that day, and we can't really predict the weather, but a lot of the patrons were happy to learn about the Glowforge and see different CNC machine examples. Part of us helping other departments with their summer reading programs is we collaborated with Parks and Recreational Department to visit them for a joint kind of activity, story time with Makerspace. So you see Anthony and Lesno in the pictures showing off different equipment that we had, including their little sphero ball where they got to control the different robots. We had 91 at downtown and 45 at the Gonzalez Rec Center, and we have had Parks Department reach out to us to see if they can continue to have us go to them for outreach, but also so that they can continue to do tours. They're thinking past September so that they have better numbers to come visit. Next slide. We joined the Kids Appreciation Day at the Gladys Porter Zoo. This is one of the activities where we do book readings as well as give out different bags and equipment. We had 678 people at this event. We also helped at National Night Out, which was supporting our police department and our services so that we can show collaboration with different departments to give out school supplies and to promote library resources. So they were very thankful to get even just our color changing pencils as well as access to tutor.com and our databases. At that outreach, we saw 923 people. Next slide, please. Continuing with supporting our community with school supplies, we attended the Back to School Bash with the Housing Authority of the City of Brownsville. They were happy to learn about Mango languages, North Star, and to be able to get more school supplies. And then our last event here is our InReach. We had the All Hazards Resource Fair here at the Brownsville Public Library System at Maine, and we were able to talk to patrons within our branches about the services and databases that can help them when there are different events, including downloading books, so that you'll be able to access them and keep yourself busy while you're without other power resources. We were able to see 120 patrons within our building to discuss these additional resources. You may have seen another InReach table when you guys were coming in, where we're discussing the change from Access 360 to Boundless. This is kind of what we're going to be doing for MIDI on the Move. We'll have an informational booth where we can discuss more in depth about our different services, our makerspace, and all the programming that we're doing, so that we'll be able to have that one-on-one during a bigger event. With that being said, are there any questions, queries, concerns?
I just want to commend all of that outreach, especially during the summer with those summer programs in those rec areas. I'm sure a lot of children would like to go maybe to the library, and sometimes they're unable, but you going out for them, I think that's really commendable on your end, and for them to want you to come back is because they probably got really good feedback. So that was great.
Courtney, is it possible, or maybe it's done in another way, maybe to give some kind of token, and then when they attend the library of their choice, an event or check out a book, they submit that token, and then that way you have some kind of tally of how outreach brings people in. Is that a possibility? Or have you done something like that?
We've toyed with giving out kind of makerspace vouchers so that they'd be able to build their own continuity with our makerspace to also promote them. And then we are doing different checkout events through September and October with regular library services to kind of bridge the gap and bring them here. What we've found is just basically word of mouth when we come back that they say, hey, I
Okay.
remember seeing you at the farmer's market. Oh, I saw you at BASD's migrant meeting and you gave us this and this is how I utilized it. But to get strict tally statistics is another matter. We can investigate possibly doing that in the new year for outreach, which would start in October. But thus far, we've had limited success in getting vouchers back from the public. Either they forget the little voucher at home or in their other packages, but they do mention that they have seen us out there either personally in the event or through Facebook or our stories that we do during that time.
The only thing that is like charged at the library is makerspace services, some of them, right? Because like, I think that's the only incentive as like a tally. Like if you're like, oh, bring this bookmark, I'm already gonna get free books. Like but like, I think the makerspace would be the way to do it because that's the only thing that is like an extra cost. And then people won't lose it as easy as like, bring this back to show that you met me or. I think that'd be the only way. Cause if not, then yeah, they just get thrown with whatever in the backs of cars or wherever.
So kind of like Miss Bertha mentioned, some of the events that we're gonna have in September and then in October are going to be where they get incentives for doing checkouts. So like she mentioned, the Golden Book, that they'll have the incentive if they choose a book that is in a particular section, that it pops up that it's a Golden Book, they'll get a supplementation printed bag as well as a candy bar. And in October, we're going to do, or if they show us a checkout receipt, that they'll get a free bag on a limited basis to celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're kind of trying to draw people in that manner, but there's no direct correlation to it being outreach to any reach thus far.
Okay. And then as far as the numbers for, what was it, farmer's market, was that the lowest from the entire year? I don't know how many visits you've made.
No, that was not the lowest that we've had in the entire year. It does seem that in our summer months is where we go to dip lower in June and July.
And two, I mean, farmer's market, they probably see the numbers go low just as because of harvest. You know, their harvest season isn't until fall.
Yeah, and traditionally before the farmer's market had closures during those months, again, to follow harvest, but the last 2-3 years they've gone to where they stay open overall. But we did exceed both in July and August our last year's numbers by a bit. Part of it was because we had more events over in August. So we've kind of been bouncing.
How close are you in proximity to the inclusion caboose?
It depends on.
Is it possible to get close and work with Laura Holbrook, possibly? And ask Laura what her numbers look like.
We have worked with her in the past through children's department for that inclusion caboose on a limited turnaround, like maybe once or twice a year.
She has puppets. You know that. Yes. She's always pushing her puppets. All right. Anybody else comments or questions? Good. Thank you. Building updates?
So, just so you're aware, we had a little bit of a construction going on at South Mills this last month. In continuing, to spruce up the building, we went ahead and redid the IRC room, so all of the wallpaper came down. It got patched up, places where it needed. We got at the float, and then we went ahead and did add color. We did go ahead and bring over the same colors that are on the main floor over to the IRCs and the classroom section. So that's your before picture, and that's your after picture. So it does give it an entirely new look, and the colors just kind of flow throughout the building. So that was one of the updates that we did. That was 2 years in the making. So little by little, we've finally completed the building, changing of the colors. And then afterwards, next slide. Okay, so this is the children's section here, and it's the study room, and the blinds area was my office. And so what we've gone ahead and done, that also went through a makeover, and we went ahead and combined those two rooms so we could go ahead and do a new children's program room. So as you can see, that's the before, as you can see from the outside in the construction, and now this is the after. So you've got the two entryways there where you can go ahead and go in. New furniture has been ordered. We're still waiting for it to come in, but it'll be children's furniture. And it'll serve as a more table space for them, but again, also for programming, giving them a little bit more room to work with. Okay.
What's the turnaround with children's furniture?
Well, honestly, this is the first time we've really updated the furniture in about 15 years. So, I mean, it's long lasting. It's long lasting, yeah. And then this particular one goes ahead and is actually at both of our libraries. You might have noticed it as you were walking this way. But as I mentioned to you, we went ahead and combined the existing study room with the office to give it more of to do the children's program room. So of course now we need a study space that we took away, right? So this was part of our solution. It is called a shush booth. And some of our staff members have already renamed it just the study pod. It's the shush booth. It's sometimes a little bit of a tongue twister. But essentially it's a compartment. We have the furniture that's currently in there is temporary. We are looking for more adequate furniture for that particular space, but they do have them in different sizes. This one is more geared to people, but there's also the singles, and there's also one that is a little bit larger that fits 4 people. And that's right now we wanted to purchase this one and see how it goes, and have it available for our patrons. So far, it's been getting used here. Yes. The one in Southmost, we actually just finished building it on Friday, so we were gonna add the carpet, and it should have premiered today, but opened up to the public today. So we'll see how it goes at Southmost. But the one here at Maine, it's been about a week, so it's already gotten a little bit of traction. The one at Southmost is located by the window space as well, and the one here, it's right in the front, so it's very visible to the patrons.
I kind of thought it was a weird location just because I feel like when you want privacy to study.
They're like staring right at you.
And like there's just all those windows,
Well,
yeah.
The good thing is that it's movable, so for right now, we're just keeping it there, but eventually it will move around to
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's right there. And I feel like, yeah, if I was studying, I would like look up every time somebody walked by.
But yeah, so that's the building updates for right now.
Thank you. And to the library.
Yeah. I'm Bobby, president for the Friends of the Library. We've had pretty consistent over the summer. We've been averaging about $1,000 a month, which is a good increase over last year. The credit card machine is helping a lot, being able to accept it. We did start at Southmost as well. We have a couple more volunteers going in, but we're not seeing a lot of patrons, unfortunately. But we are trying to get more people to come in at the Southmost location. We are working to expand our hours more, hopefully to get where we're almost all the same hours as the library, at least here at Maine. Southmost is slower getting to it, but we're getting where we're trying to be open and people can come in and see what we have.
I was waiting for another slide.
No, I don't have any other slides, sorry.
Beautiful. Any questions? And this is where we're at, adjournment. You want to carry the motion for adjournment?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Anyone second?
I second.
Beautiful. We all say yes.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
So you call it at 6:18.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I think we're all used to so many different.